All right, here's our video today. Algebra 1 Regents Review. So we're just reviewing some topics. If you need to go deeper into the topics, I have videos on that. You can check that out. So in part 1, and we'll do many parts, so we can go over every topic on Algebra 1. But in this part, let's get our pen first. Let's get our pen. Let's say, stick with red. So in this part, we'll deal with functions. So I'll write functions over here. Do a little functions. Let's change the colors. Put yellow. So that comes out, yeah, much better. We'll deal with functions and we'll deal with expressions for the two topics just for this video. And we'll do more in the other videos. So, for example, and these are questions similar to what you'll see on the state test, especially New York. So let's get a clean page. Clear this out. All right, I have this caramel latte page over here. So let's start with an expression that appears. These questions always appear. So we'll just say an expression. Express yourself with espresso. So let's say you saw this question. It says 2x, x minus 3, in parentheses, minus 8, and in parentheses, x minus 5. And the question is, write this in the simplest form. So write simplest form. See if you can do it. Then I'll go over it. Pause the tape if you need to. So the first thing you should know is we have to distribute. Distribute this out. Distribute the 2x out and then distribute the 8, negative 8 out. So what you'll get over here is you get 2x squared, because 2x times x is 2x squared, minus 6x. And then over here we have minus x, right? This negative x times x, so it's going to be negative 8x. Negative times a negative when we distribute again will be a plus. It'll be a plus 40, positive 40. So that's the first thing. And we're not in simplest form yet. So remember, we have to combine like terms here. Combine like terms. And so we'll get 2x squared. So we have a minus 6x minus 8x minus minus, right? So that'll give us 14x plus 40. Still not in simplest form. We could take out the 2 over here. If we take out the 2, we'll put an arrow over here. If we take out the 2, we're going to get x squared minus 7x plus 20. Right? If we take out the 2, we know that 2 times x squared is 2x squared, and 2 times negative 7x is negative 14x, and 2 times 20 is 40. So that's the type of question and how you should answer it on the Regents. Let's look at another question. Let's clear this out. Go back if you need to. All right, what about, say we had this type of question. We had, and let's make sure our pen's working. Let's keep yellow. So let's say you had 18x squared minus 50. So this is an expression, and we should factor this expression. So if we factor this, what do you think we have to do? So if we think about the GCF, think about that. Right, we can take a 2 out, and then we're going to get 9x squared minus 25. And when you have this now, you have the difference of two squares. Very important, the difference between two squares. And when you have a difference between two squares, you need a minus and a plus. So we just keep that 2 there. So we know that the square root of 9 is 3. Square root of x squared is x. The square root of 25 is 5. So we're going to have that, 3x minus 5, and a 3x plus 5. Keep that in mind when you see a difference between two squares. And we just factored it. Took that expression, factored it. All right, let's look at two questions with functions. All right, clear that out. So with functions, you have f of x, right? F of x. And let's say f of x equals 3x squared. I'll put negative 3x squared minus 10. And they ask you, what would be f of negative 3? So that's a question that appears a lot. And all you have to do is take that negative 3 and plug it in for x. That's all you're doing. So you could have negative 3 times negative 3 squared minus 10. So you have negative 3 times, and negative 3 squared is just 9, minus 10. And make sure you do PEMDAS or GEMDAS, order of operations. So here we have negative 27, because negative 3 times 9 is negative 27, minus 10. If you keep change that, you'll get negative 37. So that's a function type problem. Let's do one more of those. All right. So let's say we had, change the background a little more of a chocolate tint. So let's say we had, make sure that pen works, if f of x equals 3x plus 4 over 2, what is f of 8? Again, just plug in 8 for x right there. So if you want to do it, pause the tape. What do you get? Remember the order of operations too. Always do whatever in the numerator first, right? So we're going to have 3 times 8 plus 4. We have to get rid of that first, then divided by 2. So here we have 24 plus 4 over 2, which is 28 over 2. Fix that 8. It's a little sloppy. And we know it's 14. There we go. All right, let's do one more. And let's change the color. Use green. Let's just talk about a function in general, and we'll do more functions. And you should know something that, functions have an input and an output. So if you ever see this on a test, and this appears a lot, they'll have this with some numbers. Let's say we had 3, 6, 8. Just do those. And over here we had a couple other numbers. Let's say we had 4, 5, and whatever, 12. Doesn't matter. And so this is the domain is the x, the input, and the range is the output. And again, we'll do more of these in other videos coming up. For this to be a function, one x has to have one y only. So if you had 3 with 4 and 6 with 5, and then all of a sudden 6 is with 12, here you have 2 x's with one y. So this would be not a function. Not a function. So remember, 1x for 1y. So again, let's say you had, they don't have to be circles or ovals, whatever you want to call that. It could be boxes. Let's say you had A, B, C, and D. Then you had 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you had A with 1, B with 1, C with 2, and C with 4. Now, again, this is the domain and the range, the x and the y. You can have only one x for one y, but you can have, the y could have multiple x's. So A with 1 and B with 1 is fine. But you see the C over here, it has a 2 and a 4. It can't have two y's, so not a function. So in the next video, we'll talk more about functions and other topics on Algebra 1.